We've spoken many times on the show, I would dare say almost every single show, about the importance of a tax plan in retirement. And one way to limit your taxes in retirement is to take portions of your 401k, go ahead and pay the taxes now, and convert that money over to a Roth IRA. But how do you know if you're a candidate? Vanguard says you need to look at your future income in retirement. If you find that tax rate is higher than your current tax rate, then you might want to consider the conversion. They call the calculation the break-even tax rate. Guys, is that part of the evaluation you do, or are there other factors to consider?
Well, we talk about keeping the government away from your money is one of the keys to being financially successful, not only during your lifetime, but for keeping your money within your family for multiple generations. The analogy of save money in taxes today to pay taxes in the future, in my 29 years of experience, isn't always the case. And in fact, more often than not, people who saved a lot of money in traditional tax-deferred retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs could be in the crosshairs of higher taxes in the future during their lifetime, as well as if they have money left over to pass, to their children, because of the tax code is very unfavorable. Here we're at in an environment, October 2023, we just surpassed, for the first time ever in the history of this country, over $33 trillion of national debt. We've got this debate going on about the government shutdown because they're out of money, yet we just raised the debt ceiling just recently and they've blown it all again. So you have a government that's out of control with spending. And then you have the tax code that's currently one of the lowest that it's been in a long time. So it makes sense for everybody to take a look at their situation. And what we do is we run a tax roadmap. So I'll tell you what, for the first 5 callers of the radio show this week, if you would like a 2023 tax roadmap, you can just call our office, 419-794-3030. We'll run a tax roadmap for you, and we'll help answer that question is, should you pay taxes now or later in the future? And let me give you a couple of specific examples. I know, Jeremy, we met recently with a couple, we'll call them Rick and Heather. In running the analysis for Rick and Heather, Rick is a recent retiree. Heather's probably going to retire in the next couple of years. When running the tax analysis and when we looked at it, it doesn't make sense right now from what I call a strategic Roth conversion standpoint, meaning that when we look at their tax brackets and work in coordination with their CPA, because we're not accountants, we're not trying to give you tax advice, before you ever do anything tax-wise, always consult with your tax professional. But by working on it together in coordination with their accountant, it really didn't make sense right now from a strategic standpoint to look at a Roth conversion. Now, in this other example, we met with this gentleman. His name's Ernie. Mm-hmm. Now, in Ernie's situation, he actually came into the office and he had talked about, wanting to figure out how to lower taxes. And I know last weekend we had a lot of people that called in for our tax savers checklist as well. So we've been having a lot of these conversations as the deadline is getting closer. December 31st is the deadline. So now's the time to be looking at these. When we looked at Ernie's situation, what we had found is that there was a gap of money that he can convert at virtually zero to the lowest tax bracket right now. And he really didn't need the money, so he might need it at some point in the future, for the issue of like a long-term care. And then ultimately, if he didn't need the money, his plan was to pass it on to his kids, maybe grandkids. But leaving money in a traditional tax-deferred retirement account and delaying taxes to later, in Ernie's situation, I believe could be a big mistake. While he knows the tax brackets and while he can convert money at low to no taxes, every year I would be strategically converting money over. Now, in addition to that, I served in the United States Marine Corps, so I'll use the word tactical. But when I'm talking tactical, I'm not necessarily talking about a war, although I'm telling you to take war against the government coming after your money in the form of taxes. I'm also meaning to take a sniper shot approach when it comes to looking at Roth conversions. In fact, if you go back to our YouTube channel and you listen to our show from last year, when the market was down significantly, we were talking about the concept of a tactical Roth conversion. Jeremy, maybe if you touch a little bit on what that is and we can dive a little bit deeper, but this is another great opportunity, again, on that tax savers checklist where we look at tactical Roth strategies.
So if you own stocks inside of your IRA, and you like the stocks, you believe in the stocks, but let's just say that they're down at this point. The market's been flat for 2 years. We talked about that, and some stocks might be down. Well, not the theory. The tactical strategy around that is converting those stocks over to a Roth IRA, and then believing in the stocks that they're going to go back up. You can put it into a Roth IRA, still defer the taxes on the growth, and then when you take the money out, the money's going to be tax free.
Yeah, so great ways. Again, with a tactical strategy, you might have some investments in your portfolio that are down and out a little bit, but they're companies that you really truly believe in the long run are going to be higher. Looking at tactically converting those types of your portfolio can make a lot of sense. Now, Chris, this tax code is another area that I think a lot of consumers are misinformed and they don't really know about. In fact, the Honorable Learned Hand, he said it best when he said there's two systems of taxation, one for the informed and one for the uninformed. So looking at it and looking at strategic conversion strategies by creating a tax roadmap, looking at a tactical Roth strategy of identifying opportunities in your portfolio, and also knowing the fact that when we're talking about conversions, we're talking about money you already have built up in a traditional tax-deferred retirement account. So I can't tell you the amount of times that I've done workshops or talked with people that thought, well, I can only put $7,000 into a Roth, or I didn't realize that I could do that. I didn't know that was an option for me. So what you don't know can be a costly mistake, especially when it comes to tactical Roth strategies. So again, what I said is the first 5 callers that call in will be happy to provide you a tax roadmap by giving us a call and giving you some ideas, again, on how to try to keep the government away from your money this year, for future years, and for your family as well.
Just be one of the first 5 callers, 419-794-3030, if you believe that your investments will grow in the future and also think that taxes are going to go up in the future. I think that's a pretty large overlap there. This is certainly worth taking a look at, the value of a Roth conversion, if that is something that could be beneficial to you. 419-794-3030. Just be one of the first 5 callers.